Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank everybody for coming to the meeting tonight. Do roll call. Sheila, Amy,
Here.
Anita,
Here.
Lacey,
Here.
myself here. All right, so our first item is approval of the agenda. If there's any additions or corrections, the only thing that I have to add on here is under old business. We got back from the lawyer, the surf route, for where they're putting surf internet down at Fish Lake, and I would just like to add that on the old business, for us to approve their route, to give them so they can start that.
I'll approve the agenda with the amendment.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Approval of the minutes for our June 3rd, 2025. Do them separate from the, can they be together?
You can draw them together unless someone wants to change them.
So if I can get a motion for the minutes for our regular meeting and our special meeting to approve our budget.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of, and the special minutes.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And these are passed. Okay, our financial report. Get a motion to get those approved as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I will second that. Any discussion? Questions? Things should be good. All the budgets are filled up at the start of the fiscal year, so we should be good. Need a roll call on that one, or?
Yes. Amy?
Oh, yes.
Sheila?
Yes.
Anita?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Myself? Yes.
Motion carried. All right, payment of the bills. So our bills for this last one was $70,471.59. Can I get a motion to approve the bills?
I have a question real quick.
Yep.
McCarthy Insurance.
That's all of our buildings, the new building, the library that we own, that's our yearly insurance bill, and it's paid at the end of the fiscal year instead of, yeah, so this is for the next calendar year.
Gotcha.
And it was like, I was looking at the cost. It did go up a bit, but we do have that new barn and stuff
Yep.
out there, so I mean, that was kind of a given that it would go up.
And the new barn, so one thing, the new barn is, when that building was finished, we had to pay the 6 months on it and next year, so that's why it looks like it went up a little bit higher than what it actually, so we're paying back 6 months on it, cause it was never done, signed a
Yeah.
waiver to
But they
just put it to the end of the year.
Put it on to
So-
the next bill.
So does that even cover the fire trucks and everything?
That's everything.
Everything.
Cemetery, everything.
Okay.
The library, the building, the cemetery, we added all the mowers onto it, those somehow were not on there. The fire trucks, all the buildings on this here, there's some legal stuff that we got sued that's involved in there, just, yeah, everything that we needed to go through.
Any other questions?
Get a motion for the payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
I will second it. Roll call?
Anita,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
myself. All yes.
So the old business, Surf Internet has came and acquired, they're putting internet around Fish Lake, they're coming up from Shipshawana doing sections. I got one color pamphlet, anyone want to see it, the lawyer has approved it, Mike went through, basically everything's in the right of ways, they'll start a franchise, they started a franchise agreement with us, so we will be receiving some funding from them for the revenue that they generate. Everything's legalized, according to all that, it's went back and forth, they're bonded, the proof of insurance, all that stuff, there's copies of that if anybody needs to see that. They just wanted to, this has been going on for about 2.5 months, trying to get them all the right paperwork from the state of Michigan and everything, and I think it's been started back in January when they actually started looking at stuff, so they just needed our blessing to move forward to lawyer and get everything done, and so,
Yes.
yep. I know right now surf is all of White Pigeon, and does anybody else have surf in the area?
The village.
The Village White Pigeon, yep, and they're, like I said, Fish Lake, and they're hoping when they get this project completed to come up from that way and start working their way and connect. So far, everybody that has it, the village people I've talked, they really like it. You got a page or?
Yeah, it's a lot better than Comcast.
It's fiber optic, that's why.
And it's quite a bit cheaper too, isn't it? Or
Yeah, I
not?
pay for 2 gigs. I have a flat $100 for life. That's all I pay.
Yeah. So we could get a motion to approve the route for surf.
I'll make that motion.
I will second it. You roll call that one.
Sure. Sheila,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
Amy, yes, Jason,
Yes.
myself, yes.
Get that to the lawyer to get sent to them and get them in the way. New business, no current new business for this time. We're at our portion of public comment. What's that? Yeah, there's not, yeah, it must get mixed up, yeah. I don't know. Any public comment tonight? Louis?
Hi, I have a question. I'm just asking the audience and the board. The county wants to spend $18,000 to get a system so that our meetings are broadcast live
Okay.
and preserved on the internet, so people can go onto the county website. If they want to see a meeting that occurred a year ago, whatever, they click on it, they can see the meeting. And so, you know, that $18,000 includes expenses for, obviously, the monitoring and so on. It's not to pay a person $18,000 to record the movie, or the meetings. And so at the last meeting, we decided to postpone it and until we check with our constituents to see if there's a need or a desire to have these meetings broadcast, as opposed to just say, you wanna see it, come to the meeting. So I'd just like to know by maybe a show of hands, how many people want us to spend that money on that, and would you take advantage of it?
One question real quick, before that. So the 18,000, is that gonna be included, like the servers for storage, or is that gonna be an
Yeah.
ongoing fee on top of
Yeah.
that?
No, it includes the service, because they have an IT guy,
Okay,
and so, he'll be doing the work.
yep,
And apparently it's just a matter of uploading it or downloading it to
Yep.
to the internet. So that when somebody goes to the St. Joe County website, they can click on meeting and see the whole meeting. The cameras are gonna be facing the board, and then the podium will not be showing the person at the podium. It might show the back of their head or profile, but it won't show the face of the person
Right.
supporting. So at one point, we were all ready to go for it, because we're all about transparency.
Yep.
But then Commissioner Schaefer brought up, this is not something we should, I don't think there's a need. We need to check with our constituents. So everybody agreed, let's put it off until we do like a little research. I've asked Paige to help me out and do a survey. She's done that. I haven't checked today with
It was closed Sunday.
it was closed on Sunday.
Yeah.
Can you report what you found out? I think it was 50-50, 50% of the voters. Of the
One,
people.
I was gonna say, one said yes to doing it. I think no had 50, and
Yeah.
then there was one that said that was added by somebody to just pay me, and that was at 48%.
Yeah, yeah, so I'm getting the impression that the county, because they think, the voters think that it was 18,000 to pay somebody to do it.
Okay.
But that's not what it is. It's
And those-
$18,000 to have the system and to provide it.
Aren't there other charges over the 18? I remember reading something in the newspaper about it. Wasn't it like an 18,000 and then a yearly something? I don't remember exactly, I just kind of glanced over it,
Yeah,
but
I
I thought there were
don't know.
additional charges over the 18,000.
Yeah, it could be. So I guess, you got a better memory than I do probably, so. It could be, but it isn't gonna be a significant expense. I mean, when you're talking millions of dollars, $18,000 for a video system so that we can be transparent, to me,
Yep.
it
It's
sounds,
very- and one
sounds
thing-
like a no-brainer, but.
One nice thing about the video, and a lot of people comment on Page and doing this as well, is text can get taken out of proportion, misconstrued how it is, how somebody typed it, and when somebody's talking and presenting themselves, I mean, we're all humans, we all have emotions, and how people read, it is, like when you can sit here and talk to somebody about it, it's, or they can see the video and they can like, you make a judgment for themselves on what somebody's body language was on top of how they did that. I mean, no, it's, like I said, everybody that watches your videos, Ned, it's a great thing, and transparency is the way to go. That way, nothing can, he said, she said they can go back and watch the video, and it's a good thing.
So if I could take a show of hands, how many people would support the county doing that?
Is this for the county commission
Yes.
meeting only?
Yes, it's the county commission meeting, yeah. So pretty much everybody in this room, or almost everybody. in this room.
I understand, I think the cost seems a little high, but I might not understand everything that is in the cost,
Right.
so.
Well, they got some bids out for the equipment, because they can use some of the equipment that we have already. And apparently this was the cheaper version of the quotes that they got. I think they got 2 quotes.
Okay.
So will the county own the equipment once it's paid for?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, it'll be up,
yeah. So maybe once you purchase the equipment, maybe the price will come down next year. Since you make the initial purchase of the equipment. Since you're making the initial purchase of the equipment in
Yeah.
an 18K,
yeah,
on an annual basis, maybe since you've got the equipment purchased, the following year the price might be reduced some.
No, it's only
No,
only a one-time
it's
fee.
a one-time
Oh, it's a
fee.
one-time fee?
yeah,
Oh,
you
okay,
pay
I thought it was an
for
annual
the
fee.
equipment, no.
Okay.
Now, what Anita said, may have some merit.
There might be
In the
a
back of
little-
my mind, it seems to me like they said there might be some little.
Oh, yeah.
Some maintenance or something on that, or whatever.
Yeah, if anything, maybe storage, but then again, if it's in the cloud, it's
Right.
free. It's
So
not
will somebody have to monitor it and put it on the county website, or will it automatically transfer to
No,
a
it'll be,
folder or whatever?
yeah, it'll be the county, it'll be broadcast live. See, that's
Yeah.
another issue. They're
Mhm.
trying to decide if they wanna do live stream only or record and live stream.
Well, if
because
you
the
live, I believe
recording-
if you live stream it, don't you have to have it recorded as well for review later?
Yep.
Future reference.
For FOIA
And
information,
if you live stream, you have to allow public comments on it too.
Yeah, so anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
so you-
working on it, but the gist of my inquiry was to find out if the community, those that are here, obviously it's important to be here and to know, so I thought I'd ask you guys.
Well, it's hard to make it to all the meetings, and if you can
Right.
sit back and watch it, it's,
Yeah.
like, yeah, No,
Hey, Liz, I have one more comment. Have you guys discussed what is to happen when someone decides to FOIA that video?
Well, that's one of the discussions that we were having is, if you live stream it and put it on, for example, on YouTube,
Okay.
okay, then there will be no FOIA. You just go to YouTube and
Yep.
copy it yourself or see it yourself.
Mhm.
I think that was one of the questions that they were bringing about was, you know, do we wanna make it so that it creates a nightmare for FOIA? As it is, they're trying to work on a FOIA problem that they have at the county now. The sheriff's department in particular, they're like 100 or 150 FOIA requests behind. So, and they don't quote me on that exact number, but it's outrageous
Yeah.
because they were behind when they got in. Now they're gonna be behind. So I think if somebody is curious about something, they can just look it up. So they're working on the, you know, I'll keep you updated, but I got my answer for today, and the answer is at least this group right here, which was about 7 or 8 that raised their hands. Granted, it's not a valid sample of people, but it just gives me an idea where to go.
Yep.
So, Paige, I thank you for doing that for me, because based on what her results are, 50% of the people said, just pay Paige and let her do it. The other 50 said, no, don't spend that money on that. So,
So that's basically all no's.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
one yes.
yeah, we got 1 yes on her survey,
Yeah,
but
correct.
But the reason I'm not saying that is a valid representation
Yeah, not
is
everybody.
because some of the people were under the impression that that's what it pays.
Well, that's how I took it.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah,
take your
and it's
paycheck
not,
out
they're not
this.
gonna pay somebody,
Yeah.
no.
And if the county owns the equipment, who's ever in there, it's still there to record it. Somebody moves away or whatever, the county still owns the equipment to do it.
Because it didn't mention buying equipment for this, it just
Right,
said
that's right.
recording.
Yeah, you're right, the
Yeah, it
the original
didn't-
question could have been a little bit
A
better.
little bit better.
But we're in the early stages of researching that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, anybody else want to comment? Start at the back, work our way forward,
I've
and,
been over the cemetery.
Yep.
I'm looking to buy a plot for, I don't know, somebody soon, but no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm actively searching for a plot. And I'm looking at all the plot maps that are here. Do you have a baby section? I see a great big animal section.
Yeah,
That was-
we do.
yeah, there's,
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's, I'm not sure there's any room left available in that. That was established quite some time ago, probably,
Where is it at?
probably fifties. In the middle of Memorial Park, towards the
Towards
back end of it, and pine
Okay.
trees. I think it covers 2 or 3 sections.
Oh,
if the maps are correct, if they're up to date, I mean, which we know there's few, I think there was like 3 or 4 rows that were showing open.
Okay.
So there should be
Some more room.
20 spots or so, but I mean, like I said, we'd have to, like I said, Memorial Park's about,
I'm on H, so I have I, J, and K.
Okay.
she's got 3 more, and then it'll be up, then we're gonna go out and we'll start physically
Right,
comparing them with that, and, yeah.
okay. I
And
think
it-
it's been probably at least 5 years since I've had to bury a baby in that section there.
Yep,
At least 5 years.
yep, okay,
That's it for me.
that's it, all right, next, page.
Where are we coming on the master plan for the township?
The master plan for the township, it was in the hands of Mr. Hudson to see about adopting the counties and what it would take to tweak it if we had to, how much we would have to spend, or do we just adopt that one and then make, our own alterations to it by resolutions or ordinances? And I've not heard back from him, and it's been almost a month, so I will have to get in and check on that. Okay,
That was
anything else?
it.
My name's Kelly Weaver, and just wanted to make everyone aware, I mentioned it last month, but I'll mention it again. I have a petition, if you're interested in signing, for Axe My Tax, to get it on the ballot in November 2026. It's to eliminate property tax all across the state of Michigan. And so in order to vote on it, they need the signatures to get it on the ballot. And so I have that available if you're interested. See me afterwards.
I do have something else. On the voting ballots, the absentees, I've had 3 different individuals that did not receive their absentee for the last vote, the school vote. So, I don't know.
Have they came in and checked to make sure they're registered? Because,
Oh, they normally get them.
well, there was a box on there that some people checked, and my mom did this, and it was
For specific dates.
for specific dates on specific ones,
Okay.
so they might have to double check that they are registered as absentees. My dad didn't check the box, he received his ballot, but my mom didn't. And then we went back and looked at it to see what it was. She checked the box on there that said it was just for the one, or for certain ones.
That's probably what it was, and I'll let them know. Thank
Okay.
you.
I have one thing.
Yep.
Back to the master plan. I don't recall, Lacey, maybe you could tell me, does the village have a master plan in place at present?
We're working with the county. We partnered with the county,
Okay,
so
'cause
they're
I
in
was
the
gonna
final stages right now.
Suggest maybe the township and
Yep.
village, because we approached that several years ago, but at the time the village wasn't interested, so it would just help cut the cost between 2 entities.
Right, and if we go on with the township, or with the counties, it was, I wanna say it was like $3,400, and if we did our own, it was like 11,000
Yeah, it's
something.
quite a
and-
difference.
Yeah,
Okay.
The village is getting theirs next month. It was $3,000.
okay. Anybody else?
No, I had some,
Okay.
on the master plan,
Yep.
back in the day, I took the citizen planner class. We also had a gentleman who's very experienced with master planning, resident of Klinger Lake, not a year-round resident, but he volunteered to be part of that. And we've just kind of been awaiting, sitting by the phone. So if the
Yeah.
time comes that you need any people to look at stuff, there, myself and this other gentleman from.
Yeah, they were supposed to get us a copy, Hudson was supposed to get us a copy of theirs, so we could go through and look at what, everything that the county identified as, what their things were, cause like I said, we do have a lot of lakes and different things in our area.
Well, the biggest thing in the citizen planner course, it would have been really, I'm gonna use a strong term here, idiotic if the township and village didn't work together.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because it's all about zoning and planning for where you're gonna have growth. Well, the township has the village in the middle of it and has all this business. You don't do the two independent. That was
Right.
really what,
Yep.
that was 6 weeks of training in 45 seconds.
Do you need the master plan? I got a copy of the the website for it.
Well, he sent us a link to it, but
Yeah.
like the township one's real different, and he was supposed to get one that was a current, cause the website was not.
It was the draft.
It was a
Yeah.
draft, there was changes that were made to it, and then, like I said, I've not seen that, like I said, with 100 things going on, I apologize, it is my responsibility, but I will do that and see if we can't have something in action for our next meeting.
The next county planning commission meeting, I believe, is the 30th.
July 30th?
Yeah, it's either the 29th or the 30th. I have it written on my calendar at home. I believe it's the 30th, though.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, we'll close public comment down and correspondence from our board on that. We'll pass that part. Get into our zoning reports. Had 2 complaints for zoning administrator. I pronounced it right, Javier, property on Klinger Lake Road. It's an empty lot.
Where is that at?
Just, where Bob Batches lives? So it would be you go around where the old Gino's Pizza used to be.
Okay.
And I believe it's probably about 10 or 11 houses down on the left-hand side. There's an old house there. They tore it down. They left some of the debris there. Weeds are growing up. I stopped out to take pictures. There's old construction fence. There was a snake about that long. And I think it was a mouse, but it might have been a rat that ran through there. So we're trying to get that property cleaned up, because so the neighbors, like I said, don't have to deal with it. I made contact with the lady, and she's supposed to be getting someone to clean it up in her 15 days. There was another one on Hillendale. Old construction fence has been up for about 2 years. They were sent a letter, and we'll see after 15 days if that complies. Supervisor's report. Planning Commission, there's no new business. Board of Review, July 23rd at 9 a.m. We will be in here.
9:30.
9:30. I was looking at two different numbers. I'm sorry about that. So 9:30, we will be going over some tax issues. If there's any adjustments on that. Zoning Board of Appeals, we meet July 8th at 6 p.m. For a property on Edgewater Beach. It's looking for a non-compliant lot. Basically, he meets all the setbacks. It's just he's a little bit under the size of it, and he's going for a Board of Appeal at 6 p.m. on that. Letters and posting have been on that. Sewer Board, they had their meeting last night. They tabled the solar panel system pending tax abatements from the state. They're all tied up in with legislation where they're trying to put some giant bill together, and those tax credits are inside there. It's like a $65,000 tax credit, and the board voted to hold off on that until we know whether that $65,000, because without that, they don't feel it's feasible to do. They are gonna be having one of their, I believe it was a 2016 Chevy pickup truck that's gonna be coming up for sale with a snowplow. They bought a new one, they're getting it cleaned up, and as soon as we get more information, that's gonna be put up for public bid. They asked if they could set it out here for like a week or so if people wanted to see it. It will be set out on our lot here, so it's highway traffic to see that part of it. If anybody's interested in bidding on that, or if you know somebody that needs a decent truck. Fire Administration Board, we started putting together the 5-year plan, the wishes and wants and what we need. So that's in the works. Ricky Hart is one of our board members, is working with Tyler, and they're gonna start putting that together to hopefully have some progress on that over the next few months. You know, getting that thing together, it's gonna take a little bit to get all that.
When's the next meeting for that?
The next fire board meeting should be, so we're at,
September.
yeah, I didn't write the date down, I apologize.
It's the day before the village meeting, it's the third Tuesday.
I think it's the 19th, but I'm not
Third
sure.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
The fire department, they asked, they need to get the rescue boat out and run it, so there's gonna be a few times that they're gonna send the fire rescue boat out just to do a little PR. They're gonna zip around to some of the lakes like that, cause the boat does need to be ran, instead of just running for nothing. They're gonna try to do it during some of the weekends and that, just to meet with people, to let them know that it's there, and if there's any, they can't issue any tickets or anything, but they can go up and make recommendations if they see something that's unsafe on the water, you know, explain that. And the county is supposed to get us some boater safety certificates that they can pass out if anybody needs classes on the dates and that, so they're gonna be handing some of that out. So thought that was a worthwhile thing, since we gotta run the boat anyways, we might as well do some PR with it. We had a supervisors meeting last Wednesday night. The sheriff's department was there, and the Michigan State Police was there. One of the largest issues that they're facing in our county is our Amish, the horse and buggies and bicycles that we have. They called it horsepower versus horsepower. Our cars are way faster. We're going way faster than what they are. There's so many, they met with many of the bishops. Their bishops basically tell them what to do, how they want it done. Some buggies will ride on the side of the road. Some buggies will ride right in the middle of the lane. Different reasons. One is that the horse bucks, if they're in the middle of the road, they got a little bit of room to correct. If they're on the side of the road, it goes off. Just a lot of things they're trying to work with the community, and one of the largest complaints that the bishops had was that all the cars that are going by and high beaming their horses and spooking their horses. And they looked into it a little bit and they came back, and 90% of the cars, if you have a new vehicle that does auto high beams, there's not enough reflective surface on the buggies. So it assumes it's a deer in the road or whatever, the high beams go on. It's not like we're doing it intentional to them. So if you see that, and you can, I mean, just be aware, there's a company out of Elkhart that has brought some reflectors into some of the bishops to try. Some of them were willing to put it on the front of their horses. Some of them said, no, we're not doing that. It's not part of our beliefs or whatever. So the ones that have done that over the last month said that they've noticed a considerable amount of high beams not turning on with the reflectiveness coming off the horses. So that's a positive thing. Like I said, they are meeting with the different about the bike riding. Some of them have them ride single file. Some of them they ride in groups. So like I said, just basically public safety with that part of it. Right now, we are the third largest township, our third largest county with the Amish population that are coming into our area. And they said that possibly within the next year or so, we might move into second place. So just trying to make it safe for everybody on the roads, because it's and I agree with them. I mean, like I said, after the statistics stuff they were going through, like I said, they were looking at doing that. Another thing that they brought up is a camera system. It's called Fetch. Flock, I'm sorry, you're right. I showed it to you. So they want to they talked to the townships about, the supervisors about purchasing these, and then we came back with something a little different. These cameras would be set up all around the county. All they do is scan your license plate when you drive by. The only thing that it is used for is the police see it, they can't tell how fast you're going. The pictures that they take do not get a view of who is driving the car. But if your car was stolen and you call the police department and say, my car was stolen, here's my license plate number, this computer will come up there, and if that number hit anywhere in the county or anywhere, actually the state of Michigan, about 40% of the state of Michigan is using these right now, and it hits up, it will notify local police departments that car was in the area, what time it was in the area. If there's a missing child, like an Amber Alert goes out for the car, it picks these up and notifies the police that that car was in the area. Again, it doesn't know who's driving it, all this stuff here. It's stored for 30 days, the information is gone. It can't be used for anything else. The Silver Alert, senior citizens are missing, it picks the cars up. And we had a lot of questions about the scanners, and they said that almost every toll road uses them. Same thing, so if you go down a toll road and you don't have the iZoom, the camera picks it up, sends you a ticket, and it sends it to the owner of the vehicle. It doesn't have any of your personal information, any of that stuff. It's only used to the police department. Like I said, after 30 days, it's gone. So they were looking at, it was $5,000 a camera, and then like $600 a year for service and all that stuff on it. So what we presented to them is about putting a package together for the entire county, and then possibly getting a grant, and then us helping out with, doing the payments on that part of what they couldn't come up with. So that way one township's not, because like, where would we put them here? He said, if we did one at Lutz Road, it would take 3 cameras, one going north on Lutz, one going east, one going west. So there's, 15,000 right here that we would be spending. And it's like, if somebody steals a car in Constantine, they're not gonna stay in Constantine. They're gonna take off somewhere else, and another road might catch it. So if they had the hot spots that they felt was, places to put them, and everybody chipped in the county, it would keep the cost down for everybody. So that's a work in progress. So that was all for the supervisors meeting over there. Our building and grounds here, Dave has made a bunch of repairs to the building outside, repainted the stripe. We had a bunch of windows that the block was crumbling underneath the bottom, redid all that, keeping everything good. Vince has done the yard, taking care of that, everything looks good. We did bump the sprinklers on, so hope you don't get dust out, they're on very low, they're only like 10 minutes a zone,
It's
so.
dusty, yeah.
So, yep, so, and if we need to do a little bit more, we can, so. Oop, hi there.
Hi.
You're more than welcome, we're during council meeting, you're more than welcome to jump in and sit down, we're
Okay.
about 2/3 of the way
We're
through.
the Pendletons, we'd like us to discuss something when if that's possible.
Yep, we can squeeze you in here.
Sure.
Cemetery report. Been mowing and trimming. Smaller amount of funerals this month compared to last month. Moved a bunch of, 6 trees, that have died. Some flowering trees around the flagpole. Stumps and place tops, remove stumps and topsoil. Filled in holes that have settled. And then one thing we do gotta vote on tonight that it's on there, they have a dead tree, it's on the west driveway, it's a very large tree, he's got pictures of it, we did get 3 bids, Stevenson's tree removal service, had the low bid of 2,000, Polly's tree service was 2,600, and 7 Blades Lawn Service, and tree removal was 2,400. So I would like to throw in there and make a motion to accept Stevenson's tree removal. This tree is dead, there's branches falling off before it hits somebody, and they can get on it right away, Vince.
He actually called me, said he'd like to be there tomorrow.
Okay,
I said I
so,
gotta get approval first.
yep, so, if we can get a motion to get that tree removed,
I'll make
Take-
the motion.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay.
Good to go then, Vince.
Thank you.
Yep. And we are working on the water issue at the cemetery as well. We got 1 bid for a new well, and we got someone coming up there tomorrow to see about direction of bore and putting a new line in, so we can get water turned back on there.
I got one thing about cemetery.
Yes.
I want to bring up. We had talked a few months back about with the new construction of the apartments over there, upgrading the surveillance at the cemetery.
Yes.
Instead of just on 2 corners, have it like all around it.
Yep.
Any updates on that?
He was here today, he's supposed to have an estimate together because he had to do some stuff, so he's trying to throw the camera stuff in with we had to update ours here because it was on the old system.
Okay.
And he's trying to throw it on, he should have, I asked him today about that, he
Okay.
should have that there too, but yeah, he was gonna design it, put I think 2 more cameras in, so that way it covered at 360.
Sweet.
And then, yeah, he said it would be minor, he said that system is large enough to, so it'd basically just be the cameras.
Okay.
And a little
Same
later
company?
put them in.
Same company?
Same company,
Okay.
yep. Ambulance report, Amy, there's nothing new. The next meeting is August 21st at 6 PM. It's at the road commission. Anita, we got treasurer, you got a report?
I don't have anything.
Nothing for treasurers? Administrative assistance report, Bobby, had 23 dump passes for the month of June, 32 burn permits, 22 hours were spent on cemetery duties, selling plots, meeting with families to do that, look up plots, and verifying where things are at. Pretty much it. Right? Clerks, Lacey, do you have anything?
I do have something that's not really related to my clerk duties, but, Bobby's been here a while. Most places have a probationary period. I feel like she's surpassed any probationary period, and I feel like we should give her a raise.
Okay, according to you're right, yep, we did talk about that a couple months ago,
We
that,
talked about it, kind of, and then we just kind of keep putting it off, which I feel like it's clear we hired her to permanently stay, and she's been here way more than 90 days. So
Okay.
I guess I'll just make the motion. I motion that we give Bobby a $2 raise.
I would second it,
Around.
per hour, yeah.
Okay. $2 per hour. Okay, I motioned, you seconded. I would take a roll call on this.
Okay.
Sheila,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Amy, myself, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the hard work you do. We'll jump back into public comments since you guys were here real quick. If, would you state your name again?
I'm Timothy, and this is my wife Lorena Pendleton.
Okay,
We live out here on US 12.
okay,
And during the last storms, there are some big trees that are, they're in the right of way, and the state doesn't wanna claim them. The county says they can't touch them. They say I can't touch them because they're in the right of way. And the state was gonna get with someone here in the township about looking at them, about taking them down. They're very dangerous. They've closed down the road 2 or 3 times. Yeah, like 7 times, because the big oak just keeps shedding. And then there was one in the middle of 3 of them, and the one on the end is dead, and they keep falling in the road.
It is dead.
And the big oak split down the middle and fell in the road, and a semi hit it in the last storm.
yep. So I know a little about, so I was dealing with this. I came out and measured the links of where they were at.
Oh, that was you, okay.
Got with the state, so, the MDOT, did you guys receive a letter from MDOT yet?
Not yet.
No,
Okay, so when we did this, the other day when I was out there, MDOT is working on a letter. They are taking some of them out. I don't know which ones. They said that, right now that their environmentalists said that there's bats hibernating or nesting in the top of one of them. I'm just going by what I'm told, so
Right, that-
don't shoot the messenger. So they said that during this time, there are certain trees that they cannot remove. They said that all 3 of them, they said that 2 of them, I believe 2 of the 3 or 4, that they probably would not remove at this time because their environmental study guy says that they don't feel that enough damage could occur for this to happen. So they are gonna work on taking some of it out. I don't know all of it, until they get the reports back. And they said you guys should be receiving a letter in the next 7 to 10 days. And I think it was Friday I was out there, so,
Yeah.
so that, he said on Monday they're gonna be working on it with the holiday. It might be a few more days, but, they are gonna take, I know some of them out. I don't know
Are
how
they
many.
aware that 30 years ago when we bought the property, that those 3 trees
Yeah,
were
the
marked
the state
to
had
be
them marked.
taken down?
Yeah, they had a big pink
30
dot on
years
it.
ago.
Big
So-
pink dot on them.
So, well, the pink dot usually doesn't mean it's color coding, like, so pink might be trim. I mean, there's different things.
Way
like
back
that.
then,
like
yeah.
trim,
Yeah, so
yeah.
there's different things in some.
But they didn't trim, they didn't touch them.
So sometimes when they dot them, it's when a field worker goes out there, he tags them that the trees are in question, and then an engineer comes out, or, I forget what the term, what is, but there's somebody else that does like an environmental part of it. They go out and they make the determination, the recommendation to the state on which ones to take out, which ones to trim, and which ones not to. So, but like I said, it is being worked on, and they will be, you guys should be getting a letter, and they'll state what they're doing. The gentleman I talked to, the manager over there, he said he knows that they're working on the report. He didn't know exactly which ones that they were doing and which ones they weren't.
Yeah, there's only 2 left of
Yeah,
the 3
right.
that were marked or that are bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I went out there, I know there was, I think, the 3 trees, one on the one side of the driveway.
Yeah,
two in
but
front of the
that
house.
one was, the one on the west side of our driveway was never ever.
Okay,
It was
so,
fine,
yeah,
yeah.
so,
But
It's
it's just
fine.
the 3 that were right directly in front of our house were marked.
yep, yeah, I just checked the 3 that were in the right of way.
Right,
and
right.
got with them, and so they are working on that. So if you do not hear something, by the end of next week, if you have not received a letter, let me know, and I will reach back out to them and find out where that's at. so
Okay,
we
if
can
you
go.
happen to, would you let them know that the no passing sign is gone too?
Yeah, the no passing sign broke off when the
Yeah.
log hit it.
Okay,
And then I leaned it up against a tree to let people know this is still a no passing sign.
Yeah,
you know.
and the state took it when they come and started to cut
I was
and
gonna
clean
say,
up.
yeah, somebody took it.
Yeah,
Ask
they
for
have-
one,
They haven't put it,
or somebody, yeah.
they haven't put it back up yet.
yep, I will send them a message that that's
I mean,
missing.
we can understand nobody wants to deal with it, they're huge, and they are dead.
They have the equipment, I mean, they do, like I
Yeah.
said, it's just they don't wanna take every single tree out because of,
Right.
that, so.
Right.
they
Yeah,
keep
just
that.
those 2 would be great, because they're falling apart.
And even if they trimmed the big oak,
Right.
if they trimmed that one,
It may survive.
yeah, it may survive, but we're worried about it falling back this way now, cause that space fell into the road.
It's the one that was half.
Yep,
It
okay.
cut right in half.
Alright.
I appreciate that.
Yep, not a
Yeah,
problem,
we
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Well, at least, yeah, good thing we came, because we didn't know what was going on.
Yep, so yeah,
Haven't heard.
they were supposed to reach out and, yeah, like I said, yeah. All right, so we're done that part, so board comments. Sheila, anything? Amy? Nita?
No.
Lacey? Myself, nothing. I appreciate everybody coming out. Everybody please drive safe. Have a happy 4th of July. If you're playing fireworks, be careful. Our fire department guys have worked a lot of accidents here the last few days. And like I said, just, be aware of that and be kind to everybody, and let's have a great holiday and make our township better. Appreciate it. Have a motion to adjourn.
Sheila and Amy?
All right, we're